Hello, 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 everybody. You're going to hear some weird background noises, and it's because we are playing a game that I watch Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, and all of the big YouTubers when it came out play. Gosh, I want to say almost probably 10 years ago. We are playing the Stanley Parable, mama. So, um, welcome to the channel. I'm gonna start recording exclusive YouTube videos apart from my streams, and I'm just really excited. I have never like I haven't played this ever. I watch it played, but I've never played it myself. So let's just get into it. Like I'm just so excited. So, boop, hello. Let's begin. I'm so excited.
Perhaps you finally see what I'm talking about.
Whoa!
I know you'll see that we can't be happy if we leave this place. You can see that, can't you?
I'm like trying to see if there's something new in here, but there's not. He's manipulating me. Gaslight gatekeep girl
No,
boss.
perhaps not.
I'm walking a lot slower. Oh, you manipulative little goblin. Reset the game.
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just
You
wanted
don't
us to
have
get along.
feelings.
But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours.
No, it's not. I can't go anywhere else. This is your choice. You're the one.
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it?
Yes, it
I'm
is.
going back.
The end is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
The end is never the end. Oh, wait. Awaiting input. Oh, I forgot about that. Okay. Okay. It's awaiting input, though. Okay. Okay. I just have to remember.
When Stanley came to a
Yes,
set
I'm
of
going
two
to the
open
left.
doors, he entered the door on his left.
But do you remember or do you forget about what just happened? I feel like you would remember. I remember watching the deluxe version, which is what I have, but
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an
finally.
answer there.
Is this what Joe Rogan has? Um, for like his like podcast topics. He just pulls up the slides from this. Okay. Profits, profits, profits. There's something in here. Big net, some sort of child trap. There's a code, if I remember correctly. It could have changed. Yeah. Rate at which charts on the same slide depict the same information. No, none of these are correct. Why is that Venn diagram bigger? Sorry, this is just too good. I love this. Oh, something.
Stanley
Shut the door.
stepped into the
Shut the
broom
door.
closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. There was nothing here. No choice to make, No path to follow, just an empty broom closet.
Shush!
No
Shush! Shush!
reason to still be
Shush!
here.
Be quiet! Is there something?
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
I forget that's a saying, and I love it. Okay, anything else?
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I can come back. There's something about this. I love how there's so many endings that, like, its replay value is just insane. Because the boss knows that what the boss says goes. If the boss has suffered losses, then that's what the boss chose. Because the boss knows that what the boss says goes. It's just fire. Straight bathroom fire. Okay, so I can be in here, and it's fine. Classism. I can't be in the broom closet. Yeah, I'm gonna go the opposite way. What's this? What in the hell? It... Okay. Is it gonna take me somewhere? Or is it gonna be nowhere? I heard a whisper. Oh, it's like scatting. Ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah. I don't like that. It just rumbles. That is fears. Fears. I love it.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him?
Can't see it.
What he could
I'm
not
the most
have known
expensive
was
boss.
that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
I want to know if there's like a way you can figure it out, but I don't think so.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was... Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Back rooms. Hate this. I'm not afraid of the dark, but I'm not a fan of the dark, if that makes sense. I played enough horror games to know what happens. Oh god. Wasn't there a super stressful bunker
Descending deeper
scene?
into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of
Now, the
his
question
job.
is this all
Why
one
did he
big
feel
map,
this
or does it
now?
render
And for
itself
years,
in?
it had never occurred to him. This question would not go unanswered for long.
I know that he also made a game called The Beginner's Guide.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Bet.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this
You've
point,
only been right
Stanley
about
was
one
making a
thing.
conscious, concerted
One
effort to
thing.
walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Okay, bring it on. What is it? Whee! Okay, he was right about two things, and I have died in both of them. Oh, wait, no.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever.
But something happened.
Stanley can't see the bigger picture.
Right?
He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Who are you?
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
What?
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
What? Office computers. What? Y'all, I'm not joking. I've never played this, so like, in the last time I watched it, it's been a long time. At least a year since I watched the deluxe one, and even then, that was just the deluxe content, so nothing I would have gotten. Hey? I'm so confused. I mean, this is gorgeous. I am just like, are these all? I'm assuming these are all the real people based on the work of the Stanley Parable 2013 team. Oh, is it slightly different teams? Hmm. Okay, let's just look around. Maintenance room, early version. That's creepy. The printer. Thank God. Thank God for the printer, everybody. What is that? Is that someone watching a YouTube of the back rooms? Really don't we designed an ending where Stanley would end up on a battlefield fighting aliens? Actually, would become sentient and would wage war against the narrator. We realized shortly after starting to build it. It's far too joking on the nose for the tone of the game. Plus, some people interpret it as making fun of people who like shooters, which is not our intention. And that same guy used that kind of texture, or had a friend who was into game development too and used those textures. The lounge. This is giving me very back rooms, and the back rooms actually kind of creep me out. So I'm like, I'm on edge. Like, why is there a chair there? It's just a chair. Oh, there's a clock somewhere nearby. Zending model. Who thought it was complete, decided to abandon and change it before it launch. But this isn't the end. Freedom ending. Which is actually really pretty, if I remember it correctly. Monitor room elevator. Countdown room. Huh. I'm like, it's like I haven't explored all of this place, you know what I mean? Stanley's office. From left to right, the evolution over time. 2011, 2012. So 2011, 2012, 2013. And I like the 2013 one better. Only because, one, not multiple computers. But two, I don't know, I kind of like the more desolate. The rest of your desk is filled with stuff, but it's nothing that you're actually using. That's your job. You're aimed at a wall, you're not even aimed at the photo. Just adds kind of like that, like, soul sucking corporate vibe. I feel like I haven't seen everything. We don't want to leave just yet. Boss's office, screens from development. Oh wow, it's gonna be bleak. Super bleak. Oh, so that, then probably to that, then to that. Oh yeah, the little music room. Throwing on some Enya. Early version.
Anything in this room. Perfect example of poor level design. Textbook mistake. It's the kind of thing you'd pick up on intuitively if you had even the most fundamental understanding of good and bad game design.
Ooh, do not like that. Dissonant. I'm getting dissonant whispers from D&D from that. Okay. Well, that's that on that. I'll try to go for. So look for a couple more endings.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Who are you?
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another?
Yes, I can.
No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen.
But how do I?
But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way.
That was good. Okay. Okay. This time, gonna skip. Let's just leave. Let's
All
just
of
go.
his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
420. I wonder how you get into there, because there has to be a way. Oh! So each time I die, I need to make sure or restart the game or force a restart.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he
I
entered the
need to
door.
disobey
This was
him.
not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by
We're
the
gonna
employee
disobey,
lounge
but then
first,
we're gonna
just
go
to
through
admire
the
it.
blue door.
Wow. Yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Actually,
Stanley
let's
was
follow
so bad
this.
at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
So I could
I'm
go
not
through
your
there, but I
enemy,
do
really,
want to know
I'm
what's
not.
past
I
here.
realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself.
But I
Now,
can do
I'm not
it.
asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley.
For
Your
her?
chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Who is she? I'm a homosexual. Better be my mom or my sister.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be...
Hello?
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely not.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife?
No, I
They
didn't.
want to commit their life to you. I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something.
Rude.
Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
No.
Sorry, but you're in my story now. This is a very
mannequins.
sad story about the death of a man named Stanley. Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might
Rude.
even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
I refuse. I'm not pressing no buttons. I wonder if I can wait him out. She's got 5 toes. There has to be something. Something I am missing. Trying like what's it? See.
But in his mind, in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful.
I can't even go
And each
over
day
there
that he
now.
returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
BS.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day
I
while
knew
at
it.
work,
I knew
he
that desk
stepped
wasn't
up
there
from his
before.
desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth.
Were they
The
even real?
thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
I'm gonna throw hands.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he
Yeah,
began to
just
fill it with many
slowly.
possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby.
Oh
And
God.
he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is
Oh
pushing
my
the same
God.
buttons he always has. Nothing has changed.
It's just my
The
office.
longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
Go to sleep.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, Watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it. You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Is he into me?
I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules.
Is he
I
in
simply
love with
play
me?
to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Please die. Okay, but this went to black. Oh, okay. I was like, it went to black. Does last time that happened, I didn't die. Okay,
All of his
so
co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
oh wait, I need
Stanley
to make
decided to go
sure.
to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the
Still
door on his
left.
left.
Because I do need to go look at computers, and I think this is the way to
Yet there was not a single person here
I
either.
don't care.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a
Nope.
staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley.
4.
Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously
Okay,
out of
1, 2,
existence in a
B4.
single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
I didn't
Why
even
did
notice
doors
that.
close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real.
Yeah.
And at last, he came to the
Can't be
conclusion
real.
that had been on the tip of his tongue.
1,
He just
2.
hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons.
Okay.
I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing
He's
my
just gonna
thoughts,
keep
he
talking,
thought.
isn't he?
And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's
1,
asleep
2,
he doesn't have
4.
to take responsibility for himself?
I'm gonna go in
Stanley
here.
is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life.
Go into here.
Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world
I heard myself
outside
move.
this one.
I'm not awake.
Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me
Open
go
your
back
eyes,
to my
dude.
job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife
I don't
and
have a
my
wife.
job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine.
Everything isn't fine, homie.
I am okay. Stanley
Oh,
began
stuff's gone,
screaming.
though.
Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Well, I mean, yeah. Okay, so...
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon
As you
turn to go
do.
call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal.
Where
I
is she?
am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life.
This is a lot for
She
just a
had
short
no time
thought.
for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Okay, let's do the canon ending.
All of his co-workers were gone. What
Oh,
could
yeah,
it mean?
input.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I just want to see if any of these will open eventually.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings. Desperate for... Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk.
Absolutely
That
not.
kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music. Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Sweet. Okay. Okay, press that. And then going to go towards the mind control facility. Caracol, does
Stanley
that
walked straight
actually...
ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Hit the lights.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What
Oh,
horrible
that's the
secret
light.
did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
It's giving the Black Ops 1 zombie map where you can play as JFK.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each
Oh, I'm
bore the number
427.
of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
What? There's something all the way up there. Wonder if another ending gets you into there. Or maybe I'm gonna get it to
This
there.
mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe
going up
it.
there.
He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof.
Oh, God.
The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all. Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around
Sorry, I'm
will
very
be even
focused,
better.
but I don't think there's anything
My
I can
goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious
thank
additional
you.
seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is?
Where are the green ones?
Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're
Button hit
powerless.
provided.
To see you
Continue.
made humble.
Oh,
This is
do I
not
have
a
to press it?
challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control
1,
this world, that's fine. But I'm
3,
going to destroy it first,
4,
so you
5.
can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here.
I feel like
just
I'm
you
missing
being blown to
something.
pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
Oh my god, this game is so good! Don't know why I'm Jennifer Coolidge, but I am. Okay. I think. Try different options, try different things, and hopefully see some more. Because I know that there's a freedom one. There's all those ones in that little hidden room with the woman. So I'm excited to see. So have an amazing night, y'all. Day, y'all. Whenever you're watching this. And make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Comment down below. What did I miss? What should I be looking for? In that explosion room. I know I can look it up, but if you guys know really easy hacks on getting through that, hit me up because in the comments because that was I got a little stressed, not gonna lie. That's why I got quiet. I got stressed. I was like, okay, I don't want this ending to end like this, but that's what it is. So have an amazing night and catch you on the next one.